let me ask you, Bob. What gave you the what gave you the motivation to really get into this market the way you have? I mean, it sounds like you're doing some really innovative and phenomenal things. What gave you the I don't want to say courage to do it, because I know it takes courage to get out there and promote parties. Because sometimes you'll run them down the street all week long and won't make no money. But
Right.
what made you think that this was going to be worth your effort? Because like I said, party promotion, you want to hit, because you can spend a lot of time and not get anywhere and actually owe money. So what made you really think that this was going to be something that you could put your talent and skills to and really make it pop like you have?
I mean, it's funny that you said that you can promote and not make any money, because All-Star Weekend down in Charlotte, we actually lost a big bag of money down at All-Star Weekend. But what got me into it, like I said, it goes back to high school. I was selling weed in high school.
Okay.
I was selling weed and party promoting. Then I went to school at A&T, North Carolina A&T. And I pretty much started running a dispensary out of my dorm room. Being young, stupid, not understanding the consequences. I mean, we had a full line dispensary, and we sold every kind of cigar you would need. Back then, it was White Owls, Dutchess, Phillies. We had them all, and we ran a store out of our dorm room. And the approach that we had, to kind of, I guess, to rub some people the wrong way. We was freshmen on campus, and I'd have been cutting into somebody's earnings. But
Okay.
We ended up, long story short, or short story long, we ended up getting kicked out of college. We got arrested. They came to our dorm room, and the story behind that, I'll never forget it, because Greensboro is where they had the first sit-in at Woolworths.
Okay. Yeah.
So every year on campus, they would have a sit-in breakfast on campus. So that morning of the sit-in breakfast, the night prior, one of our childhood friends, he came in the city because his family was from the city in Greensboro, and he came through the city, to come check us out and go party. So that next morning, I went to breakfast for the sit-in. I asked them if they wanted to come, and they all said no. Just grab me something and bring it back. All right, so I go to the breakfast. I bring back the food, and I come. I put my key in the lock and twist it, and twist the doorknob at the same time. But the key didn't move, but the door still open.
So that lets you know somebody's already in there waiting for you.
Yeah. I walked in. I seen both of my friends. But my roommate was also, one of my partners from the DJing game. So, I walked in and see both of them in handcuffs. And the police officer looked up. I didn't know. They initially didn't know it was me, because every room had two people in it. They didn't know I was in that room.
Okay.
So they looked at me. I backed up. Like, I took a step back, and my mind went in 1,000 different directions. And the thing is, I couldn't run, because that was my friend there that had nothing to do with it. So it's like, I just had to go ahead and walk in there and take accountability for everything that was going on, And, yeah, that's that. I've been through, like Lauren said on that post. You commented on one of my posts out about the people that have been incarcerated. A lot of people have been incarcerated that have all the best ideas and all the things that would be innovative, but they are blackballed out of the marketplace.
Yeah. I commented and I've said it. I'm going to say it again. Most of our black cannabis entrepreneurs or African American cannabis entrepreneurs are sitting languishing in prison, and those that are out are finding steep entry fees, like $100,000 application fees and all these restrictions, to keep. It's almost like they're trying to keep us out of it. And it's just sad that, just hearing your story about how you got arrested for something that's legal now. I mean, how crazy is that?
And then to get back to you, to go back, so I moved out to Baltimore from Chicago. And when I first got here, I heard about the whole thing going on in D.C., but I didn't believe it. I just didn't believe it could actually be legal. So
So when you talking, when you say
I
that, you're talking about the grow rooms, you're talking about the sticker game. What are you talking about specifically?
yeah, all aspects of it, how it's legal to grow, up to 12 plants, and how they, it's legal to gift it. How there was actually people riding around with wrapped cars advertising their cannabis businesses. I didn't believe it. So it actually took me another maybe, what, 2 years. I moved out here about 3 years ago, so it took me another 2 years to jump into the scene and go out there and explore for myself. And I explored it for myself, and I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So I went out there. I was looking into going to Amsterdam out in Cali, and I seen they had a class out here called Amsterdam in DC. There was a cannabis college where they talk about branding and teach you the grow methods. So I went and enrolled into Amsterdam, and from there, I transitioned into that marketplace.
Wow, that's an incredible story, man. I didn't know about the vehicle wraps. I didn't know there were vehicles actually wrapped saying and selling cannabis driving around in DC. I never heard that, never seen that. Did you know about that, Ro?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know about that, but I was going to say the following. I mean, Loris, you spoke about, the barriers, entry, how they have these $100,000,
Application
licensing
fees.
fees
Yeah,
and all this
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and, Bob talking about how he went into business for himself and, they came for him. But that's in the finest tradition of the American way, in my opinion, because half these people we looking to, like the upper class, started out the same way.
Yep,
Kennedy family, you
yep.
know what I'm saying? Um,
Rockefellers.
yeah, all of them started off. Everything is not as squeaky clean as the fairy tale version of America that we've been given.
Yeah.
Hell, in some of our own families, we had some hustlers and some real gorillas. And then, 3 generations later, nobody remember, and you think you're poly purebred for real. But, you go back far enough, you get it out the mud and you tussle for it. And, I hate to beat a dead horse, but, you got to be strategic in the moves you make. This shit is war. You know what I'm saying? And it's, like I said, it ain't bombs and B-52s and tanks and stuff. But you really have to be strategic in the moves you make, and you really have to be almost a guerrilla in how you. And the guerrilla, I mean like guerrilla warfare. You have to be in contact with the people. You have to use the resources available to you. And it's like a cat don't have no $300,000 advertising budget, but he can put a wrap on that car and drive around and talk to it. I just. When Bob was initially in this interview, if anybody caught that, Bob really didn't say he was promoting the street team, and I picked that up because I just kind of been in that world a little bit, and I think one of the reasons that Bob is so innovative and successful because being in that environment requires you to make it, and I don't think we give enough credit to that. I don't think we give enough credit to the game and the streets because anybody.